So, Angie, for those who don't know you, please tell us a bit about yourself and your business.
About 11 years, I've had a company called Motherload Coaching and Consulting, and I've worked in diverse fields. About 5 years ago or so, I became certified in a healing modality called Havening Techniques, and that's been kind of my prime focus. And I've worked it into the coaching that I do. I've worked it into the training with groups. I use it with clients who are struggling either with trauma, PTSD, anxiety, depression, phobias, or clients who are stuck and they have big goals, but there's something going on where there's, some fear. And there's a lot of mental and emotional resilience that's required for entrepreneurship. So for my entrepreneur clients, a lot of it is mindset and just overcoming some of that fear of visibility, fear of standing out, making big changes.
Coaching is such a powerful tool, yet why are humans so resistant to being coached or to asking for the help? We are so ready to give that help, but so resistant to ask for it.
Your relationship with yourself and how you see yourself, and how the coach can often sort of unlock, like you were saying, these perspectives or these these mindset shifts you need to have about your role, who you are, how you show up in the world, and all that stuff. Specific to coaching, I remember I was maybe 18 or 19. I remember thinking, okay, I'm going to write this goals and dreams list, and I still have it. I typed it out, I printed it, and it's actually still in my house. And one of the things on it was about, becoming a coach, but it felt so far out of my reach. I didn't feel like it was something that could ever be a role I played. So I didn't write the word coach, become a professional coach. I wrote something like become a helper who unlocks people's potential, something like euphemisms. It was full of euphemisms because I didn't want to see myself in that role that was so important. It turned out that I finally had the courage to say, I want to be a coach. And then we drilled down why. And for me in that moment, having the courage to say I wanted to be a coach sort of created this aha, because courage had always been the problem with even owning my dream or my desire to be a coach or my goal to be a coach. And in that moment, I thought, I listed a bunch of excuses also with that particular coach during this, live kind of mini coaching session. I gave all of my excuses about why I couldn't be a coach. And I think that that's the thing. We get comfortable, humans get comfortable with their limitations. And the coach at the time said to me, get over yourself and get on with it. And in that moment, the pin dropped, and it was basically this okay, I am letting my excuses about all the reasons why I can't do this get in the way of helping people. The resistance to asking for help or getting the help is partly that it feels like they're putting themselves first, and it feels like it's all about them. And that's hard, especially for women. But the bigger piece and the bigger takeaway is when we don't take care of ourselves and when we don't do this work for ourselves, we often can't do the stuff we're actually meant to do. Because we end up stuck in this cycle of all of the excuses and all of the reasons. And we also end up without the tools to just make it that much easier. But a lot of the times people don't realize how important they are, and that if they get the healing or they get the coaching or whatever the modality is that you pursue, your ability to impact the lives of others just becomes so much more clear and so much easier. And you're just living in your purpose, and all of a sudden a lot of the stuff that seemed hard, partly because your ego is protecting you, just becomes a lot easier. And we're not used to having things be easy.
When did you start calling yourself an entrepreneur? What was the shift that happened there?
I probably figured out that I had to do something like this in my late teens. I always looked for, ways to play. I played it really, really safe in a lot of my career. And that always backfired, to be honest, because I would go into a setting, often in government. I had a lot of opportunities in very traditional roles, and I would always look for a way to improve things. I would always be trying to improve efficiency or find ways to serve customers better, or to, create linkages or think of, creative problem solving. And I would often find that I had learned everything I could and that I would need to move on quickly. And I think that's an entrepreneur mindset, to try to figure out the, as much as possible, the problems and find solutions and sort of grow things and make things better. And then if you're not an entrepreneur, you run into these sort of walls. And if you are an entrepreneur, then you're always looking for, cool collaborations or interesting training or, sort of ways to get what you do out into the world. Here's the interesting thing though. I used to try to remove all of the blocks from people's lives so that they could get coaching without any of the obstacles. So I did so much pro bono. I, used to have contracts with organizations where they would pay for people to come for coaching. And the success rate of those clients was extremely low. Those clients didn't have any skin in the game. They did not really bet on themselves. But I don't work for free anymore. And that is pretty new, because I used to always think, I'm just going to, whatever it takes to get someone in the door. And it just never worked. I recently went through an exercise, in my own personal work. And the reason it comes up so much for me is I think I'm reminded of it because I have clients who are also in that same place, who are so brilliant at what they do and they're not great at charging. And I can so clearly see what they, should be charging because I recognize the skill and the dedication and the time and the expertise, and yet they don't see it for themselves.
What is the definition of success to you?
Ooh. I operate from a place of, what does every day look like? And it's not every day is the same, but I really look at how do I want my days to be? I live in a small community. I like that. I want to have time to volunteer. I serve on the municipal council. I help people with animal rescue. I have a bunch of critters around here. And so for me, the definition of success is what I'm doing allowing me to be the kind of person I want to be?
Be the person that I want to be every day. That is amazing. That is super amazing.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Angie. It was such a pleasure to talk to you.
It was really nice to talk to you, and thanks for reaching out.
Of course. Well, take care, and I'm sure we'll chat again.
Thanks so much. Bye, Sol.
Bye-bye.